Welcome to Exclusive on Atameken Business Channel, where today we tackle one of the most critical decisions facing Kazakhstan, the potential construction of a nuclear power plant. As the nation prepares for a referendum that could reshape its energy future, we are joined by Mr. Qiao Gang, Vice President of one of the companies shortlisted to potentially build Kazakhstan's nuclear power station. We'll explore what sets Chinese nuclear technology apart from its competitors like Russia, France, and South Korea. We'll also assess the global demand for nuclear energy in an era of rising renewables and discuss what it could mean for Kazakhstan if China is chosen to build our first nuclear facility. With billions of dollars and our nation's energy security at stake, this conversation could influence the future of Kazakhstan. Stay with us for the pivotal discussion. Mr. Qiao, welcome and thank you for joining us on our program today.
It's my pleasure.
Mr. Qiao, given China's extensive experience in building nuclear power plants, could you elaborate on the fundamental differences in the design or potentially operational protocols of Chinese nuclear plants compared to those suppliers, potential suppliers from France, South Korea, and Russia?
Yeah, it's good questions. I just want to share several considerations. And first, CNC is a state-owned company with a sole nuclear industry chain. So the most important point is we are not delivered a nuclear power plant, only the project. We also provide the one-stop solutions, include the mining, fuel fabrications, for the construction of a nuclear power plant, even for the radioactive waste treatment, also for the spent fuel management. After that, we also can provide the O&M services. So I could say the one-stop solutions is our key point we want to deliver.
So you're providing the whole full cycle?
Yes.
As opposed to your opponents in the tender?
What do you mean?
Other countries, contestants in the...
Yeah, but anyway, the Russia, they also can provide the full cycles, but compared to others, I think since it's quite strong at this point. And the other side, the project delivery also is our strong point. With continuously 40 years construction periods without stop in construction. So in China now, we have very abundant human resources. I mean, the skilled workers and the experience built up during the constructions. Also, we have very strong supply chains to support the equipment manufacturing, and also the lesson learned from previously projects. So all these things is important points from CNC side to compare to other vendors.
So these are the important factors, but are there any fundamental differences in the design and technology?
Technology regarding the PWR, I think most of the PWR are quite the same. I watched the presentations this afternoon. The different vendors, they recommended their products. So all the reactor types related to the PWR are Generation 3 technologies. Not a big difference, I think. So the main difference is not from design side. Main difference is from the project delivery and also the life cycle support.
Well, while some countries are expanding on their nuclear infrastructure, some are pivoting towards alternative energy sources. How do you assess the global demand for nuclear energy, and potentially how would you address the concerns voiced by some of the radiophobes, opponents of nuclear power? According
to the estimations of international organizations, the electricity demand will increase, and we to address the climate change issues. So renewable and nuclear power will be the better choice for our solutions. So like you mentioned, compared to the renewable power, so the nuclear has several advantages, like the very stable and the high power density. In very small nuclear power plant, you can provide big amount of electricity compared to the renewable, like wind and solar. So I think the combination with the renewable and the nuclear power, will be the future to address the power demand issues, and also as well as the climate change issues.
In Kazakhstan currently, our nation is quite divided in terms of, on the question of building nuclear power plants. Some are for it, but it seems like there's lots of opponents of, nuclear power. And they're mostly radiophobes. How would you address concerns of radiophobes?
You mean radioactivists or?
Well, those people who are exceptionally afraid of radioactive waste and in general just nuclear.
Okay.
Anything nuclear, they're afraid of it. They deem it exceptionally unsafe. How would you address their concerns?
Okay, very interesting questions. Still have some, when I just joined the nuclear industry, since I graduated from universities, have some dinners with my friends. They always ask these questions. Is that the nuclear safe? And they have some impact in the nuclear power plant. I just show them some interesting stories in China. In southwest part of China, the people at that region, the people like to eat some special food, like the snacks, like the chicken feet, something like that. But if you want to keep these things fresh with a package, you need to be irradiated according to the recommended standard. So I just asked the questions to my friend. You like to eat these things? He just answered me, I like it. And I just bring him a bottle of the chicken feet, turn around, you will see a tag, these are irradiated full. So they don't know this one is irradiated to keep the safety and to keep it fresh. So after these things, they think the nuclear is safe. So this is one small story to show you the radiation just behind us, just around us. The rays from the natural environmental always around us. So there is no safety concern. Nobody realize we are living environmental with the rays. On the other hand, the nuclear power, we make a lot of effort to enhance the safety features about the nuclear power plant, to address the lesson learned from different events, from previously accident or events. So I believe we need to make the things transparency to the public, to show them what's the real things about the radiations and how do we benefit from nuclear compared to the conventional powers or other energy sources.
If another country were to contract your company to build a nuclear power plant there, which models would you propose to build there, for example?
To build here?
Well, here, for example, yes. Let's speak of Kazakhstan or maybe any other country, because probably is it a different approach to every country, or do you build the same models everywhere? In
Actually,
country?
the construction or the commercial models for the NPPs, we have several models. Normally, it's the EPC models. We will be the EPC contractor, and to take the whole responsibility to build the nuclear power plant. And we also have a model we call EPC plus F. So that means we not only the EPC contractors, we will help the owner to close the financial issues, then we can build the nuclear power plant. And also there is another business models we call BOT or BOOT, build, operator and transfer, is another kind of a model related to the investigations. But I do believe there's only one project in Turkey. They have this kind of models, but for different kind of models, they have advantages and the other side. It's like both sides of a coin. So we are open to discuss with our potential owners in future and just see their requirement. So we are open to discuss these things. So mostly is the customer tailored.
I see. Our audience may not be familiar with the terms that you're using. Could you just decode for us and maybe explain the main differences in the models that you just listed?
Yeah. Okay. The EPC is like the owner just awards the contract to the contractor. So the contractor will take the full responsibility for engineering and the equipment procurement and construction. So it's like a turnkey project. You just give me a contract and with the amount of cost, and I will return back your key, and finally you can move to your home. So it's the EPC. For the EPC plus F, that means not only to provide the EPC services, but also we need to help our owners to fund the financial support with probably is a team of the banks. So it's called EPC plus F model. For the BOT, like I mentioned, is a build, own, operate, and transfer. That means if CNC was chosen to be the potential cooperation vendors, and we will invest this project, we will build, and we will own this project, and we will operate the nuclear power plant by our own. With the time, the capacity built up locally, and we transfer the nuclear power plant to our counterpart in local countries. So these are different models.
Well, Kazakhstan has probably already filed our list of requests for a model. So which one do you suggest be built by your company here? Which one would be built?
Mostly I think this requirement is from the owner. But from my opinion, if you want to close the things we want to achieve the nuclear power plant as soon as possible, I think EPC or EPC plus F is the most convenient mode.
Right. Is that the one with the full cycle here or partially localized?
Yeah, EPC, after EPC, and we can provide the new fuel and OM services. So there's a different contract, but the vendors like CNC can make a commitment to support the safe and reliable operation in future. Yeah.
And why do you suggest that these particular models be used here, applied in
It's
Kazakhstan?
more easier and to get the support from both government and also, investment normally need a long process to go through, and also the local owners will take most of the control of the project.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Interesting. And does that mean that staff will be mostly sourced from Kazakhstan, or?
You mean for the EPC?
Manpower will be
Manpower,
mostly
yes,
from Kazakhstan.
definitely. According to our experience in other overseas projects, definitely there's some construction or other works, or even the engineering works, we will localize here to create direct or indirect jobs for the local people.
Taking into consideration all of the cycles that would take to build a nuclear power plant, how many skilled workers would you need from Kazakhstan, for example?
China.
What's the figure usually?
Yeah, in China, for normally we call twin unit project. In the peaking time, we may need 13,000 skilled workers. So we will see the percentage in future of localizations. I could see maybe half of them from the local. It will depend the future localization. But anyway, I believe half of them could be localized here, even more.
By the time Kazakhstan does get to start constructing, are there any new generation jobs in the nuclear industry that would be created that would be needed on our sites?
Yes,
can you
definitely.
list them, perhaps?
Yeah, in a typical nuclear power plant like the twin units in China, the practice is at least 1,000 permanent jobs were created. Most of these are high-tech positions like the licensed operators, the maintenance engineers, and also the technicians. So they need to be well trained and qualified. And some of them need, like the operators, they need to be licensed from regulators. So all these positions, these are directly jobs created by the nuclear power plant for 60 years or even more. And for the other support services like the scaffoldings or the other support services also need a lot of jobs. So I could see it's more than, even in the outage time, more than 4,000 or more jobs can be given for the local peoples.
What is the likelihood that your company will win the tender to build a nuclear power plant in Kazakhstan should the referendum result in favor of the construction? Do you think you have great chances, and maybe bigger than France's or South Korea's or Russia's?
Yeah, so I just mentioned, in China now is a very big, rapid development in the nuclear industry, mainly in the nuclear power. So we had abundant human resources and a very strong supply chain, and also the experience, not only for the construction, but also for the O&M services. So I think we can take a leverage from continuously construction and operation units, so to support the nuclear power program here.
But do you think you're any better than any of the other contestants? What's the likelihood of you winning?
It's hard to see, as a vendor, I'm pretty sure we will be the vendor in the near future. But anyway, who will be the final vendors is a decision by the owners. In Kazakhstan.
The Ministry of Energy estimates that constructing a 2.4 gigawatt nuclear power plant will take 10 years and will cost at least $10 billion. Your representatives have claimed that should your company be selected, that you would deliver such a project in half the time and for a much cheaper price. How would you achieve such an efficiency?
Yeah, so 10 years is quite
A long time.
Yes, a long time, but as you mentioned, we are not half the time. We mentioned the 5 years is from the FCD, we call the forced concrete pouring date, to the commercial operation date is 5 years, 60 months. In China, it's already achieved. So before that, we need 3 to 5 years. It will depend the potential site conditions. We need to do more work for the site surveys, more technical things, and also after that, based on the parameters we got from the survey, we will do the design, and we will submit the design to the local regulators. They may need 2 or 3 years to finish their assessment, then we will approve the construction license, we call it. So it may take 3 to 5 years. So I think 10 years is a reasonable duration now for the newcomer like the Kazakhstan here. So we are confident to finish, based on our experience, we can finish the shorten or the working duration before construction, and also to be sure the construction period can be shortened. So you mean that 10 years, maybe 8 years or 9 years, will depend later the potential site and also the technical service we will do future. So it will be specific case, but anyway, generally speaking, 8 to 10 years is a full duration for the entire project. So not only 5 years for the construction, but also for the license duration.
How many years would it take for a plant built by your company to enter into commercial operation?
Yeah, normally it's like that. In China now, I make an example in China, not for other countries. In China, normally you need 1 year to finish your preliminary design, then submit we call the PSAR, preliminary safety analysis report to the regulator. They will take another 1 year to finish the assessment, then to issue the construction license. So it normally will take 2 or 2.5 years in China to finish all this process to get a construction license. Then you will start your, we call FCD, the forced concrete pouring for the containment buildings. So that means you will start your construction. Normally, the practice in China is 3 or 3.5 years we finish the construction, and another 1 year to do the erections or the major equipment. That means 4 years we will finish all the construction and installations. Then we will another 1 year to do the commissioning. Then after all this phase, you will realize your target to commercial service. So you will see in China the practice also 7.5 and 8 years to finish all the project. But as for the newcomers, what I mentioned before, 8 years at least, and 10 years maybe. It will depend the things.
So from 8 to 10 years, this plant will be able to generate electricity.
Yes, the full 100% electricity.
If you do secure the contract, would you then also seek investment guarantees for the purchase of a portion of the electricity generated by the facility?
You mean from CNC?
Yeah, from the plant that you built here, would you then source the electricity from there? Would you purchase the portion and send it off to China?
This is very tough questions. It's not our requirement or not. It's I believe it's a requirement for the local electricity companies. Is their responsibility to decide, or their requirement to decide the electricity who will be the final customers. So I'm not sure in future they have this requirement or not. Since we are neighbors, Yeah.
In your view, is it feasible to potentially localize the entire nuclear power cycle in Kazakhstan, and starting from uranium enrichment? And which aspects of this process could realistically be localized within the country?
Good questions. The nuclear is a complicated system with a long process from normally we call front end to the back end. So I think most of the business covered in the front end could be localized here, except the enrichment, because they have some international conventions to be addressed for the proliferations. So we need to follow the international conventions. So for the others process like the natural uranium and also for the fabrication of the fuel, I think we CNC already have some cooperation with our friends in Kazakhstan to already fabricate the nuclear fuel, bring back to China to put in the nuclear power plant. So regarding the nuclear power plant constructions and this engineering and the procurement, I think it could be localized here based on the capability of the industrial capability here. So regarding the back end, through this afternoon presentations, I saw a lot of potential cooperation area we can address in future once we are secured award by the contract. We definitely will discuss the cooperation, the integrated cooperation, comprehensive cooperation with the nuclear industry in Kazakhstan.
So what particular aspects would you localize then? Something new that has not been localized yet. What would be the new aspects that you would bring here?
For example, some equipment manufacturing like the valves, the high quality pumps, or other manufacturings, and also for example, the skilled workers will be trained and qualified. I think it's kind of localization also.
But besides the uranium enrichment, you said that's obviously up to the international guidelines and conventions, but you mentioned that there's another process that could be localized here that's not been done so before. What is it?
You mean? I mean, my point is any issues related to non-proliferations, we need to follow the international guidelines or international conventions. Others, beside this or except this, the rest could be, for example, the fabrication, as I mentioned, even the conversions or radioactive waste treatment facilities. We also can help and localize here.
I see. Well, Kazakhstan is exploring various options to ensure stability and security of all of its energy projects. What risks do you foresee that could hinder the timely completion of a nuclear power plant construction by the selected companies? And how does your company intend to mitigate these risks?
Yeah, according to the experience in China now, the equipment manufacturing could be a potential risk. So first, we need to identify the risk. So as I mentioned, the equipment manufacturing, but with the abundant experience, we can mitigate the risk here. And anyway, it's a joint project. We will last for many years, for even 5 or 6 years. You will have a lot of risks. First, we should identify what's the real risk here.
Do you see any real risks here?
Up to now, I think we need to invest more to know. After the contract, we will start to identify the risk. Up to now, I don't think.
But not like as big risk averse as sanctions, for example. Russia has had problems with completing its deadlines, with meeting its deadlines in Turkey with the Kuyu power plants. Anything of that scale, do you presume that it might, affect?
I would think
here.
No, I don't think. For me, up to now, I think here everything is good. I don't think any risk I can foresee now.
I see.
Yeah.
China has recently introduced nuclear tourism, which basically opens up, nuclear sites to the public. How do you perceive that this initiative would impact global perception of nuclear energy? And could such an approach be beneficial for Kazakhstan, for example, in terms of enhancing transparency and public trust in nuclear power stations?
You mean last year?
The measure that China has introduced on nuclear tourism. You let the public come and see the nuclear sites.
Actually, near every nuclear power plant or every nuclear power site, they will build, normally we call museum, or public reception center for the transparency to the visitors, to the public, to show what's real inside the nuclear power plant, what's the information, and how we keep safety to build up the confidence of the local peoples, even for the public. And also, we will invite some teachers, students, or local society will visit the nuclear power plant and will see how it works. And it's
has this helped in terms of public opinion?
Yes, definitely the people in the local society quite support the nuclear power plant, because it's not only to bring the electricity to the local society, but also a lot of local people work in the nuclear power plant, and also can provide some, the cheap and economic heating for the local peoples. So I think in China now, they're very quite support to the nuclear power.
I see. Could this potentially be a strategy that you think Kazakhstan should adopt in the future?
Yeah, I think so. You need in nuclear safety always is a top priority. We need to open our mind to keep the transparency to the public, to make them always trust the nuclear industry. You make safe always to be your high priority to build up some confidence. So I think we need to keep a very good communication with the public.
What is your perspective on the future of nuclear energy? Do you believe that renewable energy sources will potentially replace it, and replace the somewhat toxic energy sources like fossil fuels or like even nuclear power plants? When do you think that would occur?
Yeah, last December in Dubai, there was a COP28. It's not my opinion. Most of the attendees in COP28, they have the same conclusion. To meet the demand increasing and also to address the climate change issues. So the nuclear is one of the best choices. So I believe in near future, nuclear power will play a very important role in the energy mix, not only in Kazakhstan but also in the worldwide.
Could you perhaps estimate the figure? What percentage of the world's energy mix?
It will depend on different countries. Like in China, even we already have 57 units, the nuclear power units in operation, another 47 under construction or approved already. the percentage is still under 5%. So yeah, so if we want to achieve the the carbon peaking by 2030 or carbon neutrality by 2060, we still need a long journey to go. So the percentage, I believe, is depend on different countries. Like you in France, need more than 50% of energy is produced, generated by the nuclear. So it will based on the different the conditions of different countries. Yeah, I'm not sure the exactly numbers give to you, but I believe the percentage of nuclear and the renewable will continuously increase.
Mr. Qiao, thank you very much for sitting with us today. It's been an honor having you on our program.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you.